Welcome to the Palace of Megapixels. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
Hello and welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host, Stephen White. With me back again is my beautiful co-host, Lacey Finley.
Hi, happy Monday.
Did you enjoy your time off?
I did. I got out of the one part I thought I was going to not like, so it ended up being a great weekend.
Well, good.
Yeah, we had our 12th anniversary, 12 years married, anyway, together way longer than that. So his sister kind of conned us into coming to Michigan so we could take her oldest to a con. And then, we got a nice hotel and dinner on our actual anniversary, which was Sunday. But then Saturday, my sister-in-law, literally, there was no one in the house. Her hubs had taken the youngest to some overnight camp thing. The oldest was at a con. I'm like, we never hang out. How about you and I just hang out today? And we did, and it was great. So we sent all of the kids away, all of the other adults away, and her and I just hung out, watched movies, ate steak, drank some wine. We had a good old time, and then I got to enjoy my anniversary on Sunday. So it was a nice weekend.
Wonderful.
I didn't have to go do any of the stuff I didn't really want to do.
And that's what counts.
Yes. I mean, I'm sure the con would have been fun. Absolutely. Because her oldest was so excited and dressed as their favorite anime character. Gosh, I'm sorry, people. They told me a couple of times and I've already forgotten the name of it or where it was from. But they had fun.
That's good.
Saw the pictures, and we just hung out and did that all day. So, yeah, I had fun.
Well,
so
good.
thank you to the boys for filling in.
Well, I'm glad
last
that
weekend.
We tried our best. So if you didn't happen to listen to last week, we did the kind of introducing everyone to Les Blosser, who is my co-host on our new podcast, Horror Ramblings, where we talk about horror movie stuff. We don't just talk about movies. We talk about little things around
Horror
the culture.
ramblings.
Yeah, we just ramble about horror stuff. So we'll talk about your favorite movies and whatnot. It's just we're getting somewhere in our topic. So we're bringing these things up, things we love, things we hate, things like that, but we're doing it in a very loving way, unlike the video game community. I just took a shot. No, everybody's fine.
Bite the hand that feeds you.
But I hope everybody at least gave him a shot, maybe possibly looked at Horror Ramblings, and we'll see how long this goes, and hopefully we'll have a good run at it, because, I did Cinema Sauce there for a while. I don't know what happened to that. I'll kind of...
I don't know.
I thought...
You just can't get rid of me is the problem.
Well, no, I mean, I don't want to get rid of
That's why this one keeps, going forever. I'm like, nope, you're just stuck with me now. I chose my friend a long time ago, and you're just stuck. You're just stuck.
It's fine. No, we have fun. What else did I want to talk about? I want to talk about 2 TV shows real quick, just some stuff that kind of came to mind, and then I want to talk about 2 little topics. Hopefully I won't stretch them out too long, but just things that happen day-to-day life that I thought would be interesting musings, if you will. So first of all, have you watched Love, Death, and Robots?
No.
It's on Netflix.
What's that on?
Netflix.
Okay.
It's little, what's the word I'm looking for? Vignettes, I guess, of animation.
Okay.
Episodes can run 15 minutes long. They could be 10 minutes long. They're just real short little things. Various animation houses, various stories in some sort of sci-fi-esque world. Some are very cartoony. Some are very, reminded me of video game cutscenes. I mean, that's what they look like. There was maybe 1 or 2 that were actually live action that they utilized, but had animation in them. It's an interesting show. It doesn't require a lot of your time. You don't have to watch them in any particular order. So if someone said, "Ooh, check out this one. I think you'll like it," you can just go check that one out, see what you think, and
so
then
it doesn't require you watching the whole thing,
right?
To follow along.
There's no through line. I would recommend, because this is what happened to me. I thought we were starting from the start and going through like volume 1 to volume 2. We actually started in volume 2, and that opener was probably the thing that clinched it for me. So I would definitely recommend starting there and then getting in, because if I'd have watched, this is something I realized upon watching this. There were a few that did space stories, you know, people in their ships and they're in outer space, and I just realized I think I'm bored of space, because every time I see it, I feel like all these things are interchangeable. It's always the same kind of spaceship. It's always the same kind of ideas in space and space travel, and it's just boring, you know?
Yeah, just need a new idea.
I understand there's only so far you can go with it, but damn.
Really, with space? I feel like you can make up all sorts of stuff.
Oh, for sure. I'm not knocking that at all.
And
it's
come
just
up with some, you know,
but
ridiculous formula as to why it was possible.
I think the what's the word I'm looking for here? Creativity. There we go. The creativity for space has just been stunted for some reason. It's like when it comes to alien races and planets, everyone's got an idea, but when it comes to actual space and spacecraft and that whole thing, it's the same thing. Same, and I know space is not colorful.
Right?
I'm just saying.
The absence of light.
It's just so much of it is just the same drab, cold, you know?
Yeah, true.
Just gets boring. So, but that's not to knock on any of the stories in there. It's just an observation I had where it was just like,
maybe we just need someone to come along and liven it up a bit.
Yeah, why not? I mean, is that a hard thing to do?
I mean, I guess clearly, if this is
paint your ships, you know.
Paint
yeah,
give it color.
Let's give some color on the ships and everything. Just make it all like a big rainbow just flying through space. That would be amazing.
There you go. Yeah.
Why not? I'd be down for that.
So it's not like it's gonna blind anyone, right?
But the reason I brought it up is Volume 3 of the series dropped. I haven't watched any of it yet, but it was something like we had just started binge watching it, and it was just apropos of nothing. It was just like, oh, Love, Death, and Robots. We've talked about, because we were looking for something to watch to kind of fill some time, and it's like, yeah, let's check that out. You know, it's a little, you know, won't be too invasive to our time. We can watch it here and there, and binge watched it over a couple of days, and then it was like, oh yeah, Volume 3 is coming out Friday if you want to watch it. And it was like, oh, cool. Yeah. So I'm excited to watch more of that whenever it comes back around. And speaking of that, I guess while we're on that subject, I've been rewatching The Orville, the Seth MacFarlane inspired or created.
Isn't there another one coming?
There is. It's another season, but I think they're rebranding it. It's called New Horizons. It's going to start on Hulu.
I knew there was additional words to the title, and that
because they were on Fox, and then I think it was prior to the Fox merger with Disney. They had already talked about moving the show from Fox to Hulu because they better money for their bang for their buck, if you will.
Right. Okay.
So they had already been talking about that, and then obviously delays with COVID and the merger and all these other things. So it's finally coming out on June 2nd. So we thought we would kind of rewatch it, and it's such a good show.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing rumblings. I don't know why I've got a frog in my throat.
What was that in?
But I keep hearing rumblings, and I really hope this is not the case, that this will kind of cap the show or maybe send it in a new direction, like sans Seth MacFarlane. And yeah, I just...
Isn't it his baby? Wouldn't he have to... I
mean, but
with his blessing, I think.
But they said, you know, he's been working on new shows. Like, he's doing a TED TV show, which I mean, I like,
TV show. Oh,
yeah,
really?
like Ted, the teddy bear.
With the bear?
But I think it's going to take place when the bear was, like, with John when he was a kid.
Is it a prequel?
Pretty much. Pretty much the way it comes off. And, you know, I guess that would be cool. I trust that he'll make it entertaining, but I want to see more of the Orville, you know? That's where I like.
Because that was a unique, fun story.
Well, yeah, it's like it pays homage to Star Trek, which came before it. And I think that's one of the biggest concerns right now is they've been saying, you know, well, you look at Paramount and they've got this big resurgence of Star Trek shows, but I've also heard that people don't like some of those shows because it strays from what the show used to be, whereas the Orville pays homage to what it was.
But it's its own thing, right?
Right. But there's elements to it that you just feel are very Star Trek, you know, like
Well,
I would even say
Didn't
Next
he
Generation.
even say?
Yeah.
That,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he wasn't lying.
I mean, even Jonathan Frakes, who was in Star Trek: The Next Generation, has directed episodes of the Orville. So
yeah,
you got good
that was
pedigree.
the point.
I like it for what it is because as someone who's not a big Trekkie, like I like elements of Star Trek, and I've watched several movies, I've watched a few shows, but I'm not like deep into it. The Orville, I feel like, gives me that open door to Star Trek without being Star Trek. So I can enjoy what these other people love about that, but I get a fresh start over here. And it's more in line with what I am and my humor because he injects some of that in there. Yeah. So it's this nice mishmash of things that I love all into one, and it's just more enjoyable for me, you know. So I hope those rumors are unfounded, and I understand people like to talk. So
yeah, they do.
We'll see.
Yeah, they do.
Did you watch? And I really wish because I wanted to talk about this to you before.
I'm going to disappoint you.
Did you watch Chippendale Rescue Rangers?
I didn't.
Okay.
I heard the cameo though. I have seen that floating around.
Well,
on
I'm going to
Twitter.
go ahead and talk about it because
yeah, it wasn't even in my radar until I saw the Ugly Sonic.
Yeah, Ugly Sonic, because it was trending all over Twitter.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that because I had heard like a day before there was, reviews starting to pop up and no one would talk about it, which I appreciated. And the one that I watched, I think it was a Black Nerd Comedy. He was talking about it because he was a big Rescue Rangers fan, and then when he got to the cameo, and he's like, "This cameo, man," he said, "it redeems the character. He's like the most hated, and when he was sitting there saying it, I was like, "What cartoon character was hated like this?" Because the way he was talking about it, we're just like despised,
right?
Just like no one loves this character.
Our lives,
and that was the farthest thing from my mind. Okay. And I was like, I can't think of anything. I was coming up with some old cartoon characters thinking, could it be this guy? Could it be that guy? I don't know. And then Friday morning, I get on Twitter to do some business. And what do I see trending? Ugly Sonic. And I was like, well, there you go. That tells me enough. I won't say too much about like all of his cameo and stuff like that, but you see him more than once. I'll say that. Okay. And it was just... It was a treat. It was just like, but the entire movie itself was really good.
Is it cute? Okay.
It's just the legal team. That was another thing too that I would have to give props to. Whatever hoops they had to go through to get all the cameos they got in this movie. Everything. Yeah. I mean, it was like the director and the writers, the producers, whoever put all this together. Whoever was responsible for it, they went to great lengths to cover the entire spectrum of characters. I mean, characters I wouldn't have guessed to even just spot. Like, there was one that was just like, am I seeing this right now? He didn't have a word. Didn't have a word one, but he was just there in the scene. And you're just like, what? What? Okay. And a character who should not be in a PG cartoon or animated show, because that's not what they're.
Just for us, just for the adults.
it's a character not known for these, in a show that's not known for kid gloves. Okay. I'll just say that. And I almost missed it, and then I shook my head. I was like, "Oh my God, it's da-da." So
Okay.
there were a lot. There were a lot of cameos. I'm sure I missed a ton, and I'm sure someone out there is going to do the whole breakdown thing. But
Probably already there.
yeah, but it was really well done. Paid homage, like a love letter to the show, but also kind of being this mishmash of Roger Rabbit and check it out. Check it out.
I'll have to check it out. I don't think I even really knew that this was becoming a thing until I saw the Ugly Sonic trending on Twitter. And so there was another movie.
Yeah.
The picture was great, though.
Oh, yeah.
That I saw, the still or whatever from, sure, I'll check it out.
I mean,
all of our stuff has pretty much finished for the season or something. So
that was
stuff. Once he's done playing Horizon, he got Horizon Forbidden West, so I haven't seen the living room in a couple of weeks. Fair, totally fair. But very much into that right now. So once that's over, then we can.
I wish I could play games like that, like I used to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice not having kids.
Anyway, thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome.
By the way, I don't know if I've mentioned this on the pod, or I don't even know if I've mentioned this to you. I'm going to be a papa again.
Aww.
My oldest daughter is with child, a girl.
Congrats.
So we'll November's the due date, so fingers crossed everything goes.
Be stupid hot outside, right? For
No.
And she won't be miserable.
I'm just right now. I'm kind of in I want everything to go okay, because she's had issues in the past, and I don't want to get into details, but
sure, but
my concern is for her well-being right now. I'm hoping everything works out, and I'm concerned.
Sure.
But anyway,
all the love.
Last thing I want to talk about is this happened to me, and this could be different for you. I want your take on it, but I don't know how to feel about it.
Okay.
So this doesn't happen to me very often, and sometimes me brain don't quite process what's going on in the moment, and then after a moment of reflection, this is why I'm so awkward with women. I think I was at the store the other day, and I go to the cashier and I set my stuff down, and she kind of looks in my direction and then fumbles, and then it's like she couldn't quite process things for a minute. It wasn't just like, "Hi, how you doing?" Because like every other cashier, and I've never seen this cashier there before, and so new.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I could sit there and think she was just absent-minded, but then in the moment I'm sitting there thinking she did kind of come off a little flirty with her chit-chat,
Did you find everything okay?
That kind of thing, yeah. I mean, not quite like that, but, it was just, didn't seem like they were not in the chatty mood, because some of the cashiers are just like, yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
Hers was more like, oh my God! Oh, what am I doing? And scanning is like, I need help with like she just couldn't focus.
Aww.
I don't get that very often. I don't, and it's flattering, to say the least.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I was trying to figure out the best way to put this into perspective, because some guys out there, Brad Pitt's pizza. Everybody loves pizza. I'm not pizza. I'm like pistachios or something like that. I'm
an acquired taste.
Yeah, like not a lot of people like it, but when there are people who do, and maybe I'm selling myself short, but I'm just saying I don't get that very often.
Sure. Yeah.
And it was awkward, and that's why I don't read it. And I didn't read it until after the fact, and I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. Yeah. Like there was a time I remember this, and I had a girlfriend. She got jealous. I didn't see it.
Oh.
I was at a Hot Topic, and we were, scrounging around the store or whatever, and apparently the cashier did something flirty with me. Went right over my head.
Sure.
Right over my head. I did not detect it at all.
Yeah.
And I was just having
a thing.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with her, and everything that was going on. Went out of the store, and then my girlfriend looked at me and says, "She was flirting with you, And I was like, "What? What? No." She's like, "She was."
Maybe.
And I was just like, nah, you're crazy, not me. Mm-mm.
Of course, if you're going to tell me you were like 16, I could also see that girlfriend just upset good-looking chick was talking to my man.
No.
Because I've seen that too, where it's like they were just literally asking me questions.
No, I was in my 20s. So.
Oh, okay.
This was
no. The older I get, the more I realize that was still very childish.
Yeah. So
But
I mean,
no,
but
that's fair. But
like
she
I
shouldn't have
said,
got mad at you.
Oh, she didn't get mad. She was just kind of like, she was flirting with you, and I was like, nah. You're crazy. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, it was odd. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say awkward. It just kind of made me, I don't know. It makes you feel good.
Nice, yeah.
But, there's nothing I can do about it. That's the other weird part. This shit never happens at a time when I can do something about it. It always happens.
Now you could just take the confidence and be like, "Yeah, buddy."
Yeah. But see, there's also I don't want to look. I don't want to take that. There's a creepy factor to it because I don't know if she was like of my age range.
Was there a gap?
I'm pretty sure. Okay. She seemed pretty young. Even if I wasn't married, that still would have been like, nah.
Still been a little like, I'm not sure this is okay.
Yeah. It's like, I appreciate it, but
thank you, but
no. Yeah. So yeah.
I don't need to be in the news.
I don't know if you've ever had those fumbling moments with guys. I know guys are usually creeps. I know you've told me numerous creepy stories about guys.
I think everyone, I don't know. Yeah. We've all got stories. We've all got stories. But in a cute, endearing way, it has been a while.
Okay.
Where you left going, "Oh, that was sweet." It was mostly like, ugh.
Yeah. Just like, because see, that's usually the reaction I get. Or I would usually get, it's like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well,
fine.
Steven, you just need to smile more.
I guess
that's what it is.
That's what it is. And
because I've been told that my whole life, if I would just smile more for everyone's amusement, I'd be much happier.
Yeah, have you seen my smile? I got the dimples and all, but come on. It can get creepy.
No,
anyway.
See, it's cute. See? I'm telling you, the cute dimples. She's fumbling around looking at your dimples, I think I need help. Someone please, hi, did you find everything okay? And then you'd smile again and she'd get the, so you were just torturing that poor woman.
Sure.
Just needed to get you out of there so she could work.
Well, I got out of there as quick as I could. She kept fumbling stuff.
I'm telling you, the dimples have power.
Well, I don't notice that as much. Mm-hmm. And all right, so
you're not looking at your face when you're smiling.
I'm not.
It's kind of hard.
It's
hard to do.
I feel how awkward I get sometimes. And speaking of which, okay, so look, I don't want this to come off bad. Okay, and maybe you've seen this. Because I'm not trying to judge anybody. It's just, have you ever had a moment where you felt like you just weren't, good at, kind of in this same situation, woman's turned you down or you've been just shit on or whatever, and then time passes and they used to be the hot commodity, and then time passes and you look back and today you're kind of the hotter commodity. And I'm not trying to be egotistical.
I don't know if I've thought of it that way. I have looked back and go, oh, I was definitely a kid. What was I thinking? But I never really went like, oh.
It's like,
had me.
I dodged a bullet, you know.
Sure.
I'm looking at it going like, whoa. Like,
Right.
Okay, so because...
But they're all probably very lovely.
And that's what I'm not saying anything, because I stumbled upon somebody the other day. You know, this is an old girlfriend. I'm talking like old girlfriend from like way, way, way back. And
we don't know her life.
I don't know her life. And, you know, I always thought, you know, growing up, I was like, oh man, because she had kind of had this exotic look about her, you know, and it was just always something that kind of stuck with me.
Right.
And then
through our child lens.
Yeah. And then there she was again, and I started looking through pictures, and I was like, is this the same person? Mm-hmm. Huh. Okay. Well, I'm just go about my business now. Aww. Just curious. I'm not trying to be superficial. I'm just, you know, saying I've been shit on all my life.
Tastes change, too.
You know?
Tastes change. I used to date blondes, and I don't find them necessarily attractive these days. So see, taste change.
That's right. I used to have like this big, like desire for brunettes and redheads. I don't know what it is. They've been.
It's because it's rare. Yeah. So it's like something. Ooh, I bet. Yeah.
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 And it's you find
fiery.
That,
you always get that fiery idea, like, ooh, this is gonna be a good time. Ooh. Lots of fun, full of energy. Yeah.
I think that's what it is. You're just entranced by it, going, I bet you she's a lot of fun. She could be the biggest bore in the world.
Probably. It's like, I need SPF 100 before we go anywhere, and it's like,
we're going to hell.
We really are.
I'm sorry, people. We've gone way off track.
Don't add us on this one. This is just.
I'm having fun. I'm.
Do you?
We're just chit chatting. We're just having conversation. We've all had these conversations. Don't act like you're better than us.
Right.
I'm just saying. I'm tired.
Our hypothetical humans.
Yeah. You know how many times I get looked at with this rejected look? You know, why can't
don't make eye contact.
Yeah,
there you go. You'll never know.
But see, that's the weird part of it too. It's like I don't know what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong. Again, not that I'm out there.
Like you're out there fishing right now.
Yeah, I'm not. But
it's like, hi, Katrina.
I've always been awkward about it, you know? So, like, I try to be nice, and I'm just like, hey, hello, but I kind of keep to myself. I've tried to be, you know, big and you know, outlandish to try and draw attention. That always seems like it's awkward. I don't know what to do.
Well, I think that was because we were just always in our head too much, and if we just realized, just go do you, man. You'll find so much more people are attracted to just that confidence in your own being and existence that you'd be surprised who might come a knocking that you wouldn't have thought was ever interested before.
Yeah. But whatever, I don't care.
But again, we're very happy where we are.
Yeah, I'm not looking for a thing. I'm talking.
But humans, though, I mean, it's still nice to feel attractive from an outside source. Whether you can look at the menu, you just got to go home for dinner.
That's right. And I'm not looking for anything. It's just nice to be noticed.
Yeah, it just feels good. It's a nice little bump to your self-esteem. You know,
you don't like you said, you don't hear it. You know the person you're with loves you and does, you know, head over heels for you.
For all this stuff that we do that's gross.
Yeah.
This person
like they know me.
Look cute. Yeah. Like they know what's really gross about me too.
It's like we're just laying in bed, you know, and next thing you know, she loves me.
And we laugh because farts are funny.
That's right. It's like, hey, did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Yes, I was in the other room and I heard it.
It was pretty good, right?
You heard me laughing.
It's like, oh, gosh. Hey, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing this week? So, one we're going to talk about later.
Okay.
But there was another little small one that caught my eye that was only $5 that I kind of wanted to talk about. And it's called Ravenous Devils. Mm-hmm. And it is It is kind of a time management cooking simulator game, but your restaurant meat is humans.
Okay.
And we don't waste nothing, you see, because husband also is a seamstress. And so when he kills the people to send down the chute for you to chop up for meat and sell to the customers, he uses all the clothes. Like, we waste nothing. So the clothes that came on the humans, he'll make nice little outfits for us to sell in the front room. And it was so ridiculous that whole just premise. It's like, yes, I want to play this. And I admit, even when it got to the point where I was upgrading some things and now I'm getting to make steak, like you make hamburger, it's so fucking brutal. I couldn't even handle it. I was laughing so hard because it's like a 2.5D platformer is what it kind of looks like. I think it's like that 2.5D look that's what we're calling it.
Yeah.
Where it kind of has that 3D, but we're not moving it around. Regardless, 3 levels. So main floor is where people come in to buy the food. You sit down or whatever. Top floor is our, I know there's a word and I don't know. Anyway, husband space where he makes the clothes and does the kills. And then there is a chute that he'll dump the bodies down to go straight into the basement where the wife will, cook everything. And when I unlocked steaks, I literally had to scroll up to the top floor and just pretend it wasn't happening because like the chopping noise, and she just goes pew, 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 arm off, stomach out. Like it was a little brutal.
Just a little?
Like, holy crap. But I was laughing so hard at this whole scenario. And I think the game was maybe 4 hours to play through the whole thing, but for $5 and just that premise alone, I recommend it. Oh my gosh. It was a ridiculous situation and we're here for it. And it does have a story, it does have a story. But it looks like they might even update it, and kind of maybe expand on it later on from this team. But yeah, Ravenous Devils, if you're looking for just like a small little game like that's a little bit gory and just ridiculous, of course, to boot, I recommend it. I mean, for $5, man.
I'll have to look into that.
Ravenous Devils. I don't know how I just found it randomly, but as soon as I saw the price and saw the trailer, I'm like, okay. Oof, it gets brutal, though. But I definitely think there's room to expand on it, for sure. But that and other little stuff, because, of course, I was addicted to the trial this last week, too.
Oh, so yeah. I'm still hearing about that.
I'm part of the problem, I know. I realized it. But it's okay. I'm not forcing my opinion on people. So
it is on the PlayStation. Yippee.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
Good. Yeah. I recommend checking it out, especially if you like gore and then it's just a ridiculous, like, wholesome supposed to be cooking simulator and you're just grinding up bodies in the basement to make hamburger and sausage and steak. But you do eventually grow vegetables. So you will have vegetables, but you are using decomposing human bodies for your fertilizer.
Okay. See, this is going to be one that we're going to have to talk about on Horror Ramblings at some point because we've been talking about doing video games on there.
I have
this
one
would be
later
ideal.
We're going to talk about that I think you two should do too. But
yeah.
But recommend. $5. Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
$5
for 3-4 hours worth of entertainment. It was worth it for me.
I was actually expecting this to be more on PlayStation for some reason.
Is it $5 there too?
$4.99.
Oh, good.
So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get it because you're.
I would love to hear your thoughts on it because it was just so ridiculous and kind of gross, but I was here for it and I got all of the achievements. It wasn't hard.
There you go.
Literally, if you just play it, you get them all. But
look at that, everybody! You just witnessed me purchasing a game here.
I just sold a game.
Yep.
Look at this.
Because it sounds amazing, and I want to check it out. And $5 is not gonna break the bank.
No. And for a couple of hours worth of entertainment, I totally think it's worth it. But then the other game we're going to talk about later, because I played little stupid little games that aren't really worth talking about while I was listening to other stuff going on in the world. But what about you?
I also played said game we're going to be talking about later, but I also played a little bit more Lego Star Wars. Okay. Got to episode 4. I got to a point where I've decided, like, I don't want to rush through the story because I like doing story and then scavenging and then story and then scavenging. But I've hit a wall somewhere where I'm noticing certain things I can't get or certain bricks I can't get because I don't have a certain character. And I'm trying to find a character like that, and I've heard somewhere around episode 6, that character will unlock with all the tools. So once I get that character, then I can start bouncing around and doing a little cleanup and then coming back around to episode 7 and finishing all that up. Because I don't want to do all that and then play. I like ending the game on my terms and being like, I'm done.
Right. Yeah.
There we go. I don't want to.
I've done what I want to do.
Right. So I feel like once I've capped the story, then I'm done, and then a little cleanup here and there. And that's usually how it goes with a lot of the Lego games, at least for me, because you got to do the free play and stuff like that. So minimize the backtracking that I have to do. So hopefully I'll find one of these scavenger characters with the tools, because I've got one, but I can't use them until we get to some stupid thing in the story. So once I get that, I'll be fine.
Yeah,
I'll be fine. And they're doing fun stuff with the Lego stuff, the way they do the stories, because I was curious how they were going to do some of the darker stuff, like in episode 3, because Anakin, kills Padme, or supposedly kills Padme, and he's responsible for her death. He doesn't do it directly, but you get where I'm going with it. And they just the shit they spun on it, like she comes to the planet to dissuade him, but she's got cake, and she's like, I've heard you've turned to the dark side. Cake.
Yes.
And when he is reassembled as Darth Vader, obviously they had to do the no, and then they just took it 3 steps further. He looks down, his legs are on backwards. No. And then something else happened. No. So yeah, they did their Lego best
montage,
as they usually do. But yeah, we'll talk about the other game later. So until then, let's do some news. What you got?
Let's do some news. Let's see here. I feel like rumors just kind of abounded this week, but grains of salt for all.
Okay.
That should just be like the name of this whole section here. But looks like we may be getting a Red Dead Redemption remake.
Mm-hmm.
And Red Dead Redemption 2 for, this gen or next gen. However we're articulating the PS5 and Xbox Series now, current, next, I don't know. But 12 years ago, so we're celebrating the 12th anniversary of Red Dead Redemption, and apparently we're hoping for an update, a remake, supposedly in the works. I mean, the Red Dead Redemption 2 port makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's still fairly new, although since it is, I don't know, I'd be interested to see what kind of update that would even need, other than just being prepped for the 5, I guess, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But will they actually try to revive the online portion is what I would be more curious about, because fans are very upset about how that's just been kind of abandoned and not really kept up with new events and things of that nature. But a French journalist, Chris Klippel, I hope I said that right. He does Klippel. I don't know why I decided to say it like that. Klippel. That's not close to French, even a little. What am I doing with my life? I don't know. Anyway, writes for Rockstar Magazine news website over there, right? So the Red Dead Redemption 2 port should have been done by now, but, took a back seat supposedly to work on the remake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Why is there, what was the first one? Because we had Red Dead Redemption.
Revolver.
Mm-hmm. Why are we doing that?
I don't know.
I just hope they don't use the same GTA people for the port.
Yeah, it'd be kind of nice. I think they're probably just, since Redemption is the one that is popular.
Kicked it off,
it's
I
like,
guess,
well, just stick with this one. No one's going to remember that other game that no one remembers.
True. Like, even I had a hard time, and I played it for way back then. Because what, PS2? Was it earlier than that?
No, I think PlayStation 2 sounds
right.
right. Yeah.
So supposedly this is in the works. They're actually legitimately doing it. The Red Dead Redemption one makes, good sense to me. Red Dead 2, sure. I mean, sure. If you want to sell it on the next gen. If you've already got it on PC, you're probably doing okay if it ported well.
Yeah.
I never bought the PC version, so I don't know. And a little more salt for you. Last of Us Remake supposedly will launch this holiday season. So the OG 2013 game. This is according to Jeff Grubb. He likes to tell us things.
Yeah.
I don't know what the plan here really is. It's still, I don't know, holds up pretty well too, I think. I guess a new coat of paint because it is a couple gens now, I guess. But
yeah, but come on,
or tried to bank on the series. Maybe will be coming out about that time, and everyone can make a little extra cash.
Sure, but it feels so soon. Like,
well, this is the first one.
Yeah, but still.
So it's been almost 10 years that one's been out.
But like you said, it hasn't aged poorly by any means. Like, what can you do to make it look better? I mean,
I don't know,
maybe
man. If they're doing stuff with that new Unreal 5, and stuff is looking crazy out of those engines.
I guess I just want to. I'm gonna have to see it. Yeah.
I mean, looking at some videos, granted, it's probably been since I played it new that I have it in my head. So, ephemeral memories can be quite rosy. But I'm sure if we had PS3 release. We even had PS4 and stuff. So I'm sure there's a lot they could do graphically to make it look, I guess, sharper.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would just seem just bringing it up to whatever engines we have at our disposal today.
I guess I'm not expecting to be blown away by whatever they whip out. And maybe they'll prove me wrong.
Maybe.
I don't see myself being like, oh my God, this is everything I ever wanted from the Last of Us game. Oh my God. Because, there's going to be those people. You know who you are.
And if you love it, great. Then I'm glad it came for you. If that was what you were wanting. But yeah, other than that, I would see new coat of paint. I feel like would be all we could really do. Story is still great. Gameplay, I would imagine, if they tweak anything. But that's really all I really could see to go on is launches this holiday season. I should have probably looked up when the HBO series launches, because I'm wondering if they kind of tried to time that out. It would make sense from a marketing standpoint. And then we talked about here the rumors of the Mafia 4, which is in the works, which will be a prequel to the first game. But now more rumors are coming out that the story will focus on the Don Salieri family in Sicily, which actually could be more interesting, and you might actually dig, because it might have a little bit more of a Godfather kind of tilt feel to it.
Yes.
So that was the only little news, bit of extra news that I heard on the new Mafia. So maybe I'm a little excited now. I don't know.
I need to play the others. I know I was looking at them not that long ago.
I have played 2 and 3, and I want to say I've beaten 1, but it was so long ago that I can't remember 100%, which is just how my brain works anymore. It barely does. So the PS Plus announcements, though, because we're getting we're a couple of weeks out from that dropping in the States. Their lineup was announced on the good old PlayStation blogs. And I won't name all of them here because it was a lot.
Yeah.
It actually was quite a bit. So I definitely recommend going over there to check out what all goodies come with the new PS Plus. Even though they even mentioned that isn't quite the full list even. So, hey, I like hearing you're going to get more stuff for your dollar. So the PS Plus membership, which is the lowest tier, essential tier, I guess is what it'll be called after, the port over. It doesn't seem to be changing. Like whatever you're getting now with PS Plus, that's what you're going to get. But going up to Extra adds quite a few entries, from which some are like Days Gone, Bloodborne, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Marvel's Spider-Man, and the Miles Morales, Last of Us, among many, many others. So pretty good lineup right there just alone. And then that's not even including the third parties games that they mentioned would be coming with the tier as well. And then if you're going up to the premium tiers, when you get all your classics, which would be streamed. So you want some OG PS3 games, maybe even 1 and 2 games, Vita games. All of that would be streamed, so it doesn't sound like you're going to download it, keep it, use it, or anything like that. Kind of like, I guess, your Stadia on PlayStation. So quite a good deal, I think, so far. At least the middle tier.
Yeah.
The higher tier, I think, would just kind of depend on you as the individual and how badly you've been wanting to play some of these older titles that you may have not wanted to pull out an old console for.
Yeah.
Maybe. And some premium PS1 games on there will have trophies. Yes, kids, we didn't used to have those. We didn't used to have achievements. So they're adding in some achievements and trophies for some of those games if that's something you love. So now you can add more too. I know some people love collecting that stuff. So, June 13th here in the States is when we're supposed to be completely ported over to our new PS Now, It Plus Premium Essential.
It disappointed me because I was kind of hoping it would have launched right about the time that my subscription was re-upping.
Oh, so a little gap there.
Yeah, it just re-upped this weekend, and I was like, because it was about a month shy. And I know they'll do
They'll definitely let you give them more money.
Yeah, whatever the pre or
the middle one, Essential, Premium, and then.
Well, no, I mean, since I've already paid for a year, if I wanted to upgrade, they're not going to charge me the full amount, but the difference between whatever I've already paid.
Yeah.
Prorate. That's the word I was looking for.
They weren't even letting us buy this stuff yet.
Yeah.
Which was interesting, which I thought was probably the best play, because I remember they tried to give you this huge, weird breakdown of like how it would work if you had this and you bought this, and then and then for them just going, you know what, wait. I thought that was a better plan. People might be pissy, but it's just like, hang on to what you got for a minute. Just wait. Because the Hubs was actually looking into getting it before last weekend when we left. And we couldn't even find a way to purchase it at that time. So we'll just wait,
Yeah.
And that might have changed since then. We haven't looked. But the middle one still seems pretty good to me. And the top one is just really, I guess, how much you love some of them older titles that you just really badly want to get your hands on. And it doesn't seem like a bad deal including that in. It's just kind of up to you whether you feel that's a good value.
I want to look into it, even if it's like just for a year. I would want to look into it, just sniff around. It's like, is this would I find this beneficial to me? Are there games on here that maybe I don't want to play, but maybe what if there's games on there Katrina wants to play, or she remembers she might want to play them, somebody else may want to play them, so I'll think about it. I want to see.
The Hubs has been wanting to play the OG God of War again, which has been a while.
Yeah.
And I want to say that was on there because I know he has it. But again, do we have a PS2 console that works well enough to run it? You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
That one was catching his eye because I can remember just all of the nights that PlayStation didn't get turned off because of the end boss on the first one. That was actually 3 bosses. And when you had killed one, you went into the next one. But if you died, you had to start all the way over. So I can just remember as soon as he got to the second one where you're hugging your family and trying to kill everyone, that it just stayed paused there for many days until he could get through it so he wouldn't have to start the whole thing over again. It was quite hilarious. Might be why it died. Anyway, moving on. Lots of buying and acquiring going on. That's just the name of the game. We've mentioned it here. There's probably going to be, 3 to 4 companies that own all AAA here very soon. But EA has been wanting to sell itself? Maybe.
They've
been in talks here for a while, it looks like, that they've recently been trying to pursue a merger with NBC Universal. Also, because they do kind of have a games division, because they have like the Jurassic Park Evolution games and two. It looked like there was a couple of Lego ones on there when I was looking at it. But they also were trying to talk with Disney, Apple, Amazon, just like other companies, trying to get some sort of deal to go through. So it looks like that no deals have been reported, but EA is still looking. As all good news, it comes from people in the know, that EA has been fairly persistent in getting a sale and has intensified since the Microsoft Activision deal that seems to be going through. NBC actually got the furthest, it looks like, as these talks with Brian Roberts, who's the Comcast CEO who owns everything, was looking to spin off the entertainment side and buy EA as its own separate entity so that they could leave Andrew Wilson, who's the current CEO at EA, in place. Yeah, that was the face I made. So I was like, so nothing would probably change. The negotiations didn't go through. So in that, earnings call that we're all nosy and listening in on that happened in February, Andrew Wilson implied that the company was focused on making more acquisitions rather than being acquired. So it doesn't seem like there's some straight answer coming out of anyone. But evidenced by EA spending over $5 billion over the last year buying up studios to increase its size, would make you think that they're just trying to swoop them all up.
So why were they trying to sell in the first place?
I'm thinking that was probably like their, if we're running out of money buying everyone, think about it. They've lost the FIFA title.
Yeah.
They are the license. They're not getting the Star Wars license renewed when it expires in 2023. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if this is that I want to stay in place and we might be losing money because we're not getting the licenses that we were able to hoard.
Yeah.
Let me use your money now, NBC and Comcast, and leave me here so we can, keep doing what we're doing here.
And you've got licenses too that we can pull from.
True, with wanting to talk with all of them. Yep. I don't know. We'll see. But those would be my two if I were speculating and you're asking my opinion, because those were both being lost fairly close together.
Okay, so I have a question that's related, and it hadn't occurred to me until now, but I'm curious. Do you think there will be a time, and maybe someone does already, and I'm oblivious to it, but do you think there will be a time where one of these big film studio companies actually has control and owns a game studio, like a AAA game studio? Because Microsoft buying up Activision, all that, this is all kind of within the company or the video game industry. But for an outside entity like NBC Universal to acquire EA, they now then become the owner of this AAA game studio, which I kind of feel like shift the dynamic, because even Disney, they don't own a game studio, they just license to everybody.
True.
And they've even said that's easier for them that way. They're just like, just let other capable people do it and we'll be fine. As long as we're getting our money, we don't care.
We're going to get our percentage. Yeah.
So, do you think that's a possibility? Like, is there a point where someone like Disney does say, you know what, we need to own one of these?
I could see that, especially with, if it's getting to the point where you can't trust certain people with these licenses, and it does always seems like Disney has always been really good about keeping in control over their IPs. I mean, shoot, they were so smart with vaulting everything for 10 years. I don't know if they even still do that and then get re-released. I don't even know if you can in this day and age of digital, but yeah. Because, if you get to the point where you want to make that money off of it, but not have to deal with, any maybe bad PR that comes out of a company, since we're seeing a lot of bigger companies getting, just being shitty humans, and their day is coming. A nice, wholesome Disney games department.
You think about...
It'd be hilarious, though, if they did buy EA, because in my head, that kind of, like...
I feel like they could
But
create
then
like.
again, they would get to do the Star Wars stuff probably then too. I don't know.
But they could restructure the entire company and
But they seem
how
like
it
they
operates.
want to keep Dude there. Like, they don't want to seem to budge unless Dude can stay put,
No,
which in my mind means no changes will be made whatsoever. You know,
Yeah.
you're just keeping the same dress on it.
Yeah, Andrew Wilson needs to go, just like Bobby Kotick and all these others. You know who I want to hear an answer from on this is Dava, because I haven't heard from Dava in 2 weeks, man.
Oh, no!
Where you at?
I was bad on Twitter this week, so I hadn't even checked. Really.
I mean, she didn't even listen to Horror Ramblings, people.
I listened to the second one. I didn't listen to the first one, no.
Anyway,
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Especially now the FIFA name we mentioned that's gone. Branded though EA Sports FC. So, well, remember we talked. They still had the licensing for most of the players and stuff for a good amount of time. So I think the ball will still be in EA's court for a minute.
now,
Until those licenses run out and FIFA can actually keep their own players and stuff.
as a non-sporty person,
It's a huge game though, man. I gotta respect it because that's global.
well, I
It's
was just gonna try to figure out the name. So does FC mean football club? Am I hip to it? Am I a sporty person now? Because isn't that what they
Yeah.
call them? Football clubs.
football club. Like, it makes sense. They use their feet.
Yay! I got a thing, and I'm not sporty.
I know. Look at you picking it apart. Sports balls. Yep. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm all for tearing it down.
Yeah, doesn't matter to me.
But especially, to button this so you could feel great about EA still. They still had a really profitable year and are still laying off 200 customer service workers. So actually, it looks like it was actually getting outsourced to third-party vendors, but still, And then now I've just got some quickies.
Okay, what you got?
Just got some quickies. Summerfest, June 9th. It's kicking off. Jeff promises gameplay.
What is it?
Jeff promised gameplay. We'll actually see gameplay. Not just trailers and in-engine trailers. We'll actually see gameplay, he promises. I'm holding him to that.
Yeah.
He put the tweet out there. It's now basically in stone.
But you'll watch and see it'll be gameplay for games that are about to release. So he's not lying.
It's true. Like, it's ready. It's dropping today.
It's like, this game's coming out in a month, so look. We got your gameplay.
We'll see, but I just want my gameplay. So June 9th, we're kicking off Summer's Games Fest. Summer Game Fest.
Share my face.
Norman Reedus seems to have confirmed Death Stranding 2 is in fact happening. Working on it now. In development.
Heard something about that. See,
Yeah. I don't know if he was supposed to.
Probably not. That's actually one of the reasons I want to have what do you call it?
The middle tier for
yeah,
PlayStation?
because that's
I
one
think
of the,
that was on there. Wasn't
yeah
it?
one of the few games I haven't played, and I've always been hesitant. And now, if I'm not really technically having to pay for it,
Sure.
I am paying for it, but I'm paying for more than just that.
Yeah.
So for equal amounts, I'm getting access to this game and many more.
Right.
PlayStation
I
Plus
think
Elite.
that middle tier does look pretty intriguing. Like, I could see us biting the bullet on the middle one for sure. But yeah, so if you were wanting a sequel, boom! I'm sure it'll be a few years.
I'm sure
it's currently in development
far from done.
because these things take 20 million years anymore. But yeah, there you go. If you wanted more Norman, Death Stranding, Baby Fun. I don't know what it is. You could tell. As soon as I saw that you had to call him the baby at points throughout the game, I was like, no, I don't want to play this.
I didn't sign up to be a parent.
I just watched him jump off a ledge and it started crying, and then it was like, move your controller to calm the baby, and I was like, nope. Nope. Sorry, Hideo. I know you're a genius, but nope. So more rumors. Speaking of, Konami is planning to remake Silent Hill. A full sequel and episodic stories. Bluebird Team is one dev team I've seen confirmed to be working on the revival. This was discovered, of course, leaked concept images. that was discovered in like February, in which Konami announced plans to revive it. But according to VGC, that they understood Konami has been actively talking to several developers about reviving the Silent Hill IP across multiple platforms. One of the projects was short stories, which was rumored super massive, maybe, which would make sense. They kind of killed the horror episodic thing, in my opinion. I do enjoy their creations. But they were once involved in the talks. But then it looked like they went on to complete Dark Picture anthology. So Annapurna was another name that I saw mentioned for the Stories project, which again, yeah, I enjoy the stuff they publish, which was another good choice. But again, these rumors are just pitches, nothing solid just yet. So we'll see. So, and then I just can't wait for the internet to break about Konami doing it without,
Yeah.
Hideo. So I don't know.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, because they're big fans, and that didn't go over well. And yeah,
I've only played one Silent Hill game, and I mean it was fun, but I'm not like clamoring for one. So
yeah. Well, you know me and scary games.
Yeah.
It's very few and far between you're going to catch me playing a solo scary game, and now that I don't stream anymore, I don't know that I will again. I have no incentive. I have nobody, surrounding me, basically making me feel like I'm not alone.
Right.
But I'm playing it. So, regardless, I think those two would have been great choices for that episodic one if it even comes to fruition at this point. But now, as I mentioned briefly earlier, a game that caught my eye this week that I think you and Les might be interested in for your podcast, just because I would love to hear your review of this. I hope it's actually good. Whatever. Let's say what it is first, right? So it was a game called The Chant. So the official trailer dropped on May 16th. It's a third-person horror action-adventure coming to PS5, Xbox Series, PC this year in 2022. And this might be a weird comment, but this is what I thought when I watched the trailer. Oh, look! Jared Leto's Cult Island Life made it into a video game. Because if anybody remembers the whole story, because, Jared Leto has an island thing that you pay ridiculous amounts of money to go on. And I only heard about it because at the beginning of the pandemic, apparently they were on this island and then came out of it going, oh crap, the world's in a pandemic, because they're all cut off from electronics and everything or whatever. But I don't think it's about him at all. But anyway, head over to thechant.com. You can check out The Spiritual Nightmare coming this fall. I'm thinking Halloween coming in the fall. But
sounds about right.
I mean, the graphics looked cool. It had some sort of like creepy ambiance. Definitely a very spiritual-esque action-adventure horror. So I thought I'd mention it because I just saw it and I knew you were doing horror stuff. And I'd like to see what you two would think of that.
Yeah, I'll take a gander.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not what I was expecting, just from what I briefly looked at. But
yeah, not Jared Leto's.
I'll look into
that
it.
Could be scary, though.
Could be.
If anybody made a video game about his life, that could be quite frightening.
And all the bad movie choices he's made here recently.
Well, yeah, it's kind of ebbed and flowed.
Yeah.
I think more for him, it's more just the fact that we're finding out how committed he is to the roles, and apparently that just means everyone has to have a bad time.
But he continues to get committed to movies that get butchered. I mean, I don't blame him for Suicide Squad. I don't blame him for Morbius, but
yeah,
come on, man.
Bad. Yeah, I don't know. I never saw Morbius, so I
haven't either.
Fair about that. Just Suicide Squad, I thought was just fine, and it was fun. I think I'm just over Joker stuff. Like we've done Joker. You too,
so, right?
I'm like we've done Joker. So not that there's anything wrong with it. If you love Joker, congratulations. It's great. We've got plenty to pull from. I'm just kind of ready to move forward. Well, he's got so many other amazing antagonists that we can pull from that's not been touched. Granted, I don't know all the stories, but the Hubs and I have had this conversation a lot, and he's brought up some characters and described them to me that I'm like, that seems way more interesting, if nothing else, because I haven't seen it.
Well, what was funny is I saw someone complain on the internet one time who was saying that very thing, but he he threw the Riddler into that group. He was like, I don't want to see Riddler anymore. I want to see, and I was like, but we haven't seen the Riddler as much as we have the Joker. You know, the Joker's like everywhere.
We have seen the Riddler. Yes, I give you that.
But not like this. This was kind of like a new take, a new twist on things, which I appreciated. That's what I want to see more of. The fact that the Penguin, we had this grotesque Penguin thing.
Oh yeah.
Now we get more of a comic accurate crime syndicate Penguin. So let's, like you said, play with all these other villains. It doesn't have to be some big name. Cast a big name in it. And then make it something big. Make it something people were like, oh, yeah, I remember this character.
And, like, fans of it from Inception would appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now they're getting this. I would imagine, anyway. I guess I shouldn't speak for the fandom. But I would imagine it would be exciting to see maybe an old favorite villain that just never seems to get the light of day be made into, you know, the main. I don't know. There's so many other ones to pull from that I do feel like you're right. We get stuck on the Joker, Bane. Riddler has come up a couple of times.
But you could tell so many interesting...
Ra's al Ghul, you know, like those are the ones that I feel like I've seen, I know we've done.
But you can tell so many interesting tales just by looking at some of these other villains, the lesser ones, and putting a spin on it. Like, take a look at this.
Your own, yeah.
I know we've gone way off the rails here. Just hang with us for a minute.
There's not a lot to talk about. Leave us alone.
So, for example, Mr. Freeze, before Bruce Timm and Paul Dini did their version on the animated series in the 90s, he was just I got cold rays, and that was it. He had no pathos. Like, they added that element about his wife being sick. They gave him a purpose. They gave him a reason that he's doing it, and you sympathize with him. Yeah. So I felt like that was an added layer that they put in that completely changed the character, and for the better. And since then, you know, that's kind of been emulated. So do that with another character. Find the most obscure, you know, character in Batman's Rogues Gallery who could twist into something interesting. You know, like there's the ventriloquist. I know it's he was
talking about that one, and I think that you could have a lot of fun with that. Go ahead. Sorry,
yes. Yeah. For that very reason. Like, I don't have like everything laid out, but he would be an interesting character. You can get into his mental state, and that's play around with that. You want to go real? There you go. This is a person with split personality who thinks his puppet is like
it could fit in the universe they've created too. Yeah.
Characters like that you can really put some deep meaning into and revitalize them in some way. You know, I don't expect them to blow up in the comics or anything like that, but you've given them.
You've already got Pattinson's name on it. You've already got it started. People would go see it.
Yeah.
And then might be pleasantly surprised, like, oh, I didn't even know of that character, or yes, I did, or hey, something fresh, new, exciting. I don't know. I'm with you on that one. I think he would be good. Speaking of, I know we're do you think Poison Ivy would be good in this universe, though? I was trying to wonder about, like, is she too mystical for the universe they're building in The Batman?
Well, that depends on how far they want to go with it, because she does kind of teeter this line to being like a metahuman. So if they do introduce a metahuman or someone who has those special abilities, then sure, because I would love to see a serious take on Ivy.
Right.
But right now, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was trying to make it make sense in my head, but I was not sure with this one we're building. But I'm with you. I would like to see it done well. Not saying Uma didn't, but it was just that whole movie itself, which is not good.
I feel like there's a way you could do it, but you'd have to take away her abilities, like the things she could do. You'd have to put like a spin on it to where she's like an eco-terrorist or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that would set right with fans, because it'd be like, well, this is not the Ivy I know. And I get it. I get it.
Okay. Yeah. We always have to leave everything exactly the same in our fictional universes. Anyway, so there you go. Some thoughts on Batman, siblings. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think? And then last one I wanted to put in here because I know people have been having issues finding one. Supposedly Walmart June 2nd. More PS5 consoles will be coming in. So if you were looking for a date, check it out. Good luck. Have fun. I hope if you're one still looking for it that you can. I had luck with Walmart.
Yeah. I'd still like to get another one. Just a digital one for the bedroom because...
Don't tell people.
I don't like...
If you do.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, even looking for one, it's been still the nightmare, and I don't have that drive like I used to because I have one.
Right.
So it's
I
like...
haven't even looked,
yeah.
so I don't know. I'm just assuming from stuff I see, it's still super hard to get one.
I just look on occasion, and if I see a drop, if I remember, I'll look, but I'm not... I'm not scrounging for one. Like, I have to have it.
Right.
It's just more like, I would like to have one to
Yeah.
replace the PlayStation 4 in the bedroom so I can play 5 games on there. And then if I wanted to play with friends, I can still play on my 5.
Right.
I want a digital one in here because I don't feel like I don't need a disc.
Right.
I've got one.
It would just be a nice thing to have.
Yeah, it would be
Something you'd like. Yeah.
First world problems. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Exactly. But this was, I thought, kind of fun. Maybe a weird news or just something I saw that was gaming related. McDonald's is trying a new way to lure in some potential employees. And while I love trying new things, I'm not sure about this one, but you decide. McDonald's has lost some branches and employees over the last 2 years. Probably don't need to pinpoint to what. That might have been the cause, and was trying to think of a new strategy to try to grab new workers, right? So they created an advertisement game, or advert game, if you will, titled McDonald's Crush the Rush. It's probably exactly what you're thinking it is. So it's a time management game where the player deals with a rapid-paced drive-through, taking orders and clicking on relevant order items to build the order and sell it to the customer, multitask to get it done. So think like those old-school Flash games, like Betty's Beer Bar or something like that. So the press release for this game announced that McDonald's Canada has 25,000 job openings coming in the next months and using this game as advertisement for openings. I mean... If you can master the point-and-click, fast-paced burger life, you can work at McDonald's, is what they're saying.
Okay, so if the game is simulating...
That's what I'm feeling like.
So the game is simulating work, trying to entice people to come work there. But are they also emulating the jerk asses that you'll have to deal with, whether it be customers or maybe the people you work with, management, things that people have to deal with?
No, I'm sure the little character just looked to smile the whole time. Everyone was nice and happy, just as long as you did it fast. And racked up those points.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, we've seen them at like Burger King's created games, things, like that doesn't seem that weird to me. I just found it funny that it was like the job application-ish.
Yeah.
To let you come in. And especially since I've noticed a lot of McDonald's is doing that auto order taking nonsense now or whatever. Not a lot, but I've seen it creep in here or there. Oops.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have, maybe that's what we get to do when we're making our order to nobody, is we get to play Crush the Rush.
Why not?
That's how we order our food coming up. I don't know. Anyway, you can play it now if you want. Came out May 22nd.
Woo!
Go over there and take the
a lot of fun.
test. Anywho, that's all I got that caught my eye. Most of the stuff was from the week before, which was old. Because I guess I had started bookmarking me stuff and then forgot what
we probably
happened.
covered some of it last week, maybe.
Yeah, I think you did. Except for the one Cyberpunk one. I guess there's some show coming on Netflix for that, which I thought was...
Yeah, I feel like I heard something about that.
Yeah, like Geek Week.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
On Netflix, yeah.
I guess we get a show out of it that'll last a season or two or however long Netflix decides it's viable and... be about as much of a
people. I think we're starting to see the demise here, and I don't know.
I think so.
Oh,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, we'll see.
Hey, you want to talk about that game that we played?
Yes, let's
do
that.
So, as kind of a last minute change, because I had no headliner initially, I decided that we could talk about Evil Dead the game and kind of give our first impressions because we both got to play it together.
Yes!
Yay!
Yes, I know. Finally got to squeeze an hour of his life away.
So we got... not only did we do cross-play, but we played a few matches with a few people. We kind of got a feel of it. I won't say that we were the best, but I feel like we got enough of a playthrough that I feel like we could talk about it just a little bit. We may not go into great details and stuff like that. So, like I said, first impressions kind of given, that's kind of what we're doing here. So don't expect some deep, detailed, even though I'm sure we could talk about it for another 45 minutes, but we'll see.
Oh, knowing us, yeah. We'll see what happens.
So, first things first, give me your initial impressions of what you felt.
Initially, so it kind of plays like Friday the 13th. Like, even Vaz mentioned that to me. Like, he got to play it a little bit before me. Him and I played a little bit afterwards, too. So I did get to play the multiplayer a little bit longer. So in the fact that, you know, you're working together for an objective and then another player gets to play as the Deadite or whichever Kandarian demon you could choose from or something to try to spoil those plans, you know, and try to, you know, not let you achieve your goal. And I had a good time with the characters. I loved all the little voiceover work. That just like the little details that were added in that way, especially like one time I died and my Ash went, I guess they came and got some. And I'm just like, this is so wonderful. So it's like if you're just hearing all those little things that they're saying throughout, just brought a lot of joy and smile to my face. And I played pretty much all of the Ashes that were available to me. And I think I played Cheryl once. Is it Cheryl? No, Kelly.
Yeah.
It was Kelly. I played Kelly once. For whatever reason, I did not play Cheryl. It seemed to play well. The controls, pretty good. The map is nice and easy to read, thank God. Because, like, maps are always kind of a problem with me, my old lady eyes. And I felt like it did a really good job of telling you how to complete the objectives along the way without it being obnoxious.
Right.
Like some of the hints and stuff that would come on screen and everything like that to try to help you out. I mean, graphically, fine. It's not like top tier, of course, or it's not garbage. So
no.
It suits it all just fine. Music was pretty good. I had to turn it off. I get that way with repeating the same of anything over and over and over again. It'll eventually make me insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't seem to have any troubles with any controls. Now, I played on PC. Everything seemed to go smooth. I didn't have troubles with any controls. I didn't find anything glitching out on me just yet. It just seemed to play smooth. And it's Evil Dead, man. I thought it was kind of an interesting... And, like, getting to see just Henrietta.
Yeah.
You know, just flopping them around all out and, you know... And I haven't played the Deadite in a match yet, though. Which I
haven't either, yeah.
I played the tutorial on it. The controls might make me a little... just because of, like, the floatiness of it.
Sure.
And when you try to turn, it still feels like you're kind of still sliding, you know, left if I'm trying to go right as you're straightening out. So I think that would just take practice.
Sure.
But at first kind of nauseating because of just like the way... Well, I mean, if you've seen Evil Dead, it's like that camera angle where they're going through the woods. That's you. You know, you're trying to make it, you know, go slow. So I had a good time. I had a good time with it. Hopefully you did too.
No, I had fun with it.
I don't know how it played on the PlayStation and everything.
PlayStation seemed to play just fine. Load times weren't anything to write home about. Of course,
yeah, they weren't amazing, but
we are also talking about online servers, things like that. So our preferred way of playing,
because we were getting in matches with people on Xbox. You could see the little symbol, so it would be PlayStation, Xbox, PC, all in the same one. So you're probably servers and internets and. Yeah.
So I'm not knocking the game for that because I also know we're doing online play, but I didn't have any issues. I didn't see any kind of major glitches that was just like, oh my God, what was that? Everything seemed smooth. Everything played fine. I did kind of get the Friday the 13th vibes. There were elements of that. a little Dead by Daylight. I felt like the controls felt pretty solid. Mm-hmm. I could use a few tweaks with the combat. Maybe like a quick turnaround or something like that would be kind of nice.
Oh, good point.
Because
unless
sometimes
it's unlockable and we just don't know yet.
Right.
There's a pretty big tree.
Yeah. So there are, when you're playing, you can get overwhelmed with deadites pretty quick. Sometimes it's a little hard. You can get disoriented. And that might be part of it. Now, it's not so bad that you can't, that it's so frustrating, but it can be a little bothersome because you're trying to focus here and then something comes up behind you. Sometimes you can be in the middle of a kill animation and that thing will show up behind you, so you already have that
in your
bookmark.
Head,
You're just like, okay, I'm ready and go. So there's a little give and take to it, but I feel like if there was some way because I know they give you a warning, like a little arrow or something like that, if something comes up behind you. So sometimes you have that warning that something's coming up behind you, but if you had like a quick turnaround option, like 2 buttons or something like that, where you could just kind of be a little bit more on guard, because combat, I like the combat to a point.
It's fairly simple.
Yeah, because that's something we really haven't had in any of these 4-on-1 versus games like Dead by Daylight or something, because you can't really fight back in those games. It's like you're being stalked by a killer and you just have to get away. When this, you're being stalked by deadites, but you have weapons, you have ways to fight back, so it's not impossible to fight, but there are a few deadites that are damn near seem impossible just to deal with, because you're like, ugh! Gosh.
Just when you think they're dead, you turn around and they get back up for one last, and you're like, seriously, I've been hitting you so much.
Yeah. Now, see what? So I played initially. I played as what's his name? Eric the Red.
Scotty.
No,
Eric the Red
from Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness.
He played all right. Then I moved to Scotty. I stayed away from Ash because I knew, one, I would probably play as Ash eventually, and two, everybody else wanted to play as Ash. So I was trying to differentiate a little bit.
And you can't play the same Ash in a match, apparently, because I was very confused why our game wasn't starting, and then it said I wasn't selecting, or I was selecting, and I'm like, but I have. And I kept hitting enter, and I went, oh. And as soon as I switched to a different one, it let me. I'm like, damn it. But I guess it makes sense if you want the balance in the team. But still.
Yeah. But playing as Scotty, he had a pretty good combat controls, because I felt like I was doing really good. I can't remember the weapon I had. I think it was just an axe. Just like a common. Just a regular axe. And I'd take one hit and then hit R3 for a finisher, and he'd finish him off real quick. So he was really good with close quarters combat. I don't feel like his ranged weaponry was all that great, but I'm more of a close combat fighter anyway, so that was really up my alley, and I felt really comfortable with him. So I would probably build him up, for me personally, in my playstyle. He'd probably be my go-to character to kind of build up right now. I did play as Ash. I did play one of the missions. I gotta say, it's hard.
Yeah?
It's a lot more difficult than I was expecting, and apparently I'm not the only one to think so, because I thought, am I doing something wrong here? Or maybe, because I looked it up just to see if there was like a game plan, maybe some way to help me out. And one of the first things, when I started typing that stuff in to Google, it was like missions too hard was one of the suggestions. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's not just me. And all the mission is, it's from Evil Dead 2. You have to go find the shovel. You have to dig up Cheryl's head. Mm-hmm. You get the head, and then you take it back to the tool shed, and then you're going to cut it in half. I got all the way up to, I had her head, but something happened. They said get her back to the tool shed, but I got surrounded by this fog, and like it was being attacked by a bunch of deadites, and every time I would go out into the fog, I would just be lost. So I had to go back into this circle, and I didn't know what, maybe that's part of it, I just don't know, but I got overwhelmed there, and I thought I was doing really good, and I got caught off guard.
I'll have to try it later, because I didn't sit down to do any of the missions.
Yeah, but one of the things it was saying that maybe I didn't do is they said make sure you're bouncing around to different locations, not just going straight to the location you're supposed to go to find, the ship colas and amulets and stuff like that you need to survive. So if you stock up on all this stuff, apparently there's a fight at the end, like a big boss fight, and they said you'll need that for...
You'll need your colas and amulets and things of that nature.
It's like, okay,
you need to get better at finding that stuff.
Dodging would be nice too. I know they have kind of a cooldown on it. Yeah, but a better dodge, or even blocking for that matter.
Oh yeah, I didn't
for
see
combat,
block, but we did have dodge.
Because you are overwhelming us, so I appreciate that you put in combat, but you're also not giving us great combat skills when it comes to when they attack you. If I had, like the chainsaw.
I wonder, did you flip through the whole tree? I didn't flip through all of them, but I allocated some points. I'm wondering because each character, my God, the amount of level ups there was actually overwhelming because it seemed like they all had a solid page. Each character. They did. So I'm wondering if that's some stuff that we would unlock if we would have taken the time to read our level ups. Because what else? How would you add that many skills?
I don't know. I know that the few that I looked at, it was like you wouldn't be scared as much. You have a boost in stamina, stuff like that. So a block ability would be great, or a better dodge. The only time you've really had to dodge, and maybe I just didn't see it, but when they explode, that. Oh
that the ones that explode at the lightning. Yeah.
So that's a good time to dodge if you can't get out of the way.
I was not figuring out early enough because I just kept killing them standing there, and I was like, okay, that's what's taking me down right now.
I just again
need to move.
The combat to me feels it's good, but it could be improved. Just certain little things to help you. If you're being overwhelmed like that, give me some extra options. I'm not going to just sit here and kill it the entire time. You can still overwhelm me. You can still throw these deadites and demons and stuff at me that take forever to take down. I ran into this big freaking deadite during the missions. Yeah. As soon as you find her necklace, I think it is. I think it's her necklace. Isn't that what you find he finds in the movie, her necklace? Yeah.
For which one?
Just in Evil part Dead 2. 2. Yeah.
For Cheryl?
Yeah.
Or not Cheryl, his girlfriend. The necklace, yes. That looks like a little magnifying glass or whatever.
So that's the first thing you have to go and find is her necklace. And when you do, it looks like it's in a mine, but maybe I'm just kind of how I perceived it in the moment, or a cave. There's this big freaking bear of a deadite in there. And every deadite that I had come across up to that point, it was like chainsaw, punch, zoop.
The chainsaw was satisfying.
Yeah. So I was finishing off deadites pretty quick and had this good groove on how to attack. I tried it with this dude and he was like, it didn't even faze him. And I was like, okay, we're going to have to try something different. So he killed me the first time. Second time I went through and I had my boomstick and took it straight to his face, and that did the trick.
And that did it, yeah.
So that was another thing too that I had to kind of keep remembering. I do have a boomstick.
Yeah. It took me a minute to figure out how to switch between the two, and when I found out how simple it was, I felt like an idiot that I was staring at my input screen for so long. I'm like, which one is switch weapons? Seriously? Which one is switch? All I had to do was left click or right click, and it would automatically aim, and if I did it and it just hit the other one, it was melee. And I'm like, really? I sat here for so long staring at my input screen. Where's switch?
What's funny is after we had played this, I went back to, or sometime later that night, I had went back to the Lego Star Wars, and the controls of that game rolled over. So every time I was trying to attack characters on Lego Star Wars, I kept hitting R2 and L2, and I kept swapping my characters. I was like, what is going on? And I was like, oh yeah, wrong controls.
Done that too, yep.
So.
Yeah.
Well, we played, how many missions did we play?
I want to say we did 3 or 4 matches.
Now, one.
And they're 30 minutes, but then the timer seemed to quit is if you found all the stuff. So if you found all 3 pieces of the map, the dagger, and the book pages.
Right.
then the timer seemed to stop, and then however long it took you to protect the book at the end.
And we got one of the last matches we did. We got really close to, like, I thought we were not going to make
I thought
it.
we had it.
And
yeah.
Because I think we were down to 8 minutes when we were down to the last artifact, and I thought, well, this is never going to happen. And that's when we learned, as soon as you collect all the stuff and you're down to the last, like, defeating the demons and then containing them into the book or whatever, and then you got to protect the book, that's when the timer stops, and it's just up to you to survive.
Yeah.
And one of the first matches we did, we'd gotten to that point, and something happened where something, like, blasted out and, like, wiped 3 of us out at once. And the last survivor, I felt sorry for him because it was like,
I'm like, go team, go!
Yeah. I mean, if they were able...
There's no way he could have saved us and killed the demons. Like, it just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, because there were way too many around. Even if he was attempting...
You. Like, if you're trying to heal, if they hit you, it will interrupt the heal or the revival.
Right. So there was no way he could have revived either any of us and still... And I know he was probably trying, but it was just no way. It was just no way.
I saw his character squad or hers or they's character squad a few times, but kept getting hit. And I'm like, just do your best to kill him. You can't save us. I've seen the attempt, so we thank you. You tried. But you can't. Just go.
So another interesting aspect to this, which I thought was pretty cool, and at least it shows that the game isn't just like you can't just be done, or at least there's an opportunity to come back. You can actually revive dead players. So you take their soul, like someone did this to me. I had died. Yeah. And the other player can come and collect your soul and then take you to like some revival slab or something like that. Do a spell and then boom, you're back in the game. I thought that was really cool.
Because no one ever carried my soul. I did see the text. Where did they carry you to?
I don't know. It would just look like this shrine, like a big...
So it wasn't near the action?
No. He kind of weaved through this area, and then there was just this big shrine. Because I didn't know what was happening at the time. I was like, all right, what's going on here? And then
where are you taking me?
Yeah. Because it was sitting there showing on my screen. You know, it was like, they have collected your soul. And I was like, okay, what are you doing here, buddy? What are you doing? And then, boom, I got revived. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So that's kind of a nice element or added element to the game that you don't really see in all the other games, like Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th, is a chance to come back. So you're not just dead.
Right, yeah.
So if you can get teammates who kind of work...
I got to wander around some more so I could see those, because we got into a couple of them where some people were just like speed running the objectives, so it felt like before I could even catch up, most of the map was already found, and I'm like, should I just stay here?
Yeah.
And see if one of the things spawns near me, and then I could get involved a little. But
this is also one of those games that I would say would work best with people you know, like in most. But I feel...
for me personally, that's always the case. But I feel Evil Dead fans might actually be kind of cool. I kept saying that while I still turned off my mic and earphones.
Well, see, the first group that we had, I felt like we had a bossy person trying to lead the charge, because there was a moment I was looking for a page, and I don't know how exactly this works in the game, but there was a message sent to me saying this player is telling you to focus on the objective, and I was like, I am. What are you talking about? I'm sorry, I'm not.
I wonder if I tuned all that out.
But again, I don't know if that was something that you would even see. It was just interesting that I got this notification. It was like, they want you to focus on the objective. I was like, I am. I'm looking for the thing right now. What are you talking about?
I'm looking for stuff. Yeah. I need cola. I need amulets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I wasn't doing it their way. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm not playing your way. I am trying to help. I'm not trying to. Right. It was our first match. So we were trying to get used to everything.
I played the tutorial. I had an idea of what we were supposed to do.
Yeah.
They were going so fast, and I'm like, I don't.
But the second group we had, I felt like we did very well. We stuck together. We all kind of followed the same objectives, took cars to the same place. Right. Everyone was working in
Waited
tandem.
For each other to get in the car. Yeah.
I don't know if you heard this or not, but it was one of those moments. Somebody screamed through my controller, since the way we had everything set up. I guess I don't know if I had myself muted. I eventually muted my mic, so I don't know if people were listening or not.
Oh, for the PlayStation? Oh, yeah, because I heard with your remote, you got to turn that off.
I never heard anybody else talking, but at one point I heard someone like that, and I was like, what was that? So I just thought it was someone just being a jerk.
It might have been. Who knows?
I let it go. But
yeah, it definitely was a lot more fun when we were all trying to work together.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like if we could find, 2 more people to play.
Yeah.
Because I've already kind of put some of those seeds out there, to certain people. It was like, you should get this game. You
should. I do want to play the demon ones, though, because there is that. Because there was you could do survivor versus player. So where the player would be playing the Kandarian demon. So when you're getting overwhelmed, they're just a good player. They know how to spawn their little the holes that'll pop up for the demons to come out of, or the deadites to come out of. Like, you spawn all of that.
Yeah.
And could eventually, I guess, embody whichever Kandarian demon you chose and kind of have like a boss fight kind of thing. Then you could also do it against the AI. So it's still for human players playing against AI that otherwise a player would have played if you were doing the demon. And then there's a private match, which I haven't tried, where you literally can just play with friends. You're both sides. And then the mission one, right? I think those are the different modes.
I think so,
Solo play. So I played both. I actually felt it was harder against, it should be, I guess, but a human playing the demon was a lot harder than the AI. The AI got overwhelming.
Yeah.
Man, if you got with a good player, I just kept getting possessed and harassed. And I was like, I can't be on my own. This is the problem right now. Or it made it easy to pick me out because I'm trying to catch up and I just couldn't, as soon they'd find the map and then proceed more. And I'm like, but I haven't even gotten to there yet. I'm
trying.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there. But yeah, getting possessed is really freaky too. And then I need to find out what that is. If it's just that pop up. Did you get that where it would be like
where it was like
on the screen, like
yeah.
Like, does that happen right before I'm about to get possessed? Is that just scaring my character for the fear level to go higher so he can possess me? So the one thing I couldn't figure out, maybe you did, because at the bottom where it has like that counter that goes up with the flames, and I thought that was to indicate your fear level.
Yeah.
I never saw it go down.
You have to either be with people or get into the light.
The numbers never went down, which was interesting. It seemed like the only thing that I noticed was like your screen will start to get kind of narrower, and you see the blood on the side or whatever it is. So that was, I thought, to indicate to me that I'm getting super scared. My character is getting really scared. Some lights don't do crap. And I don't know if that was intentional or a bug, but we were like huddling around one that was already lit, and maybe that's the thing. You can't hide in already lit places. Like, do you have to start the fire?
I felt like that worked. Like, even like the gas stations. It was weird. Could have been a glitch.
The one I'm thinking of was, I guess, on a bridge. We were walking upstairs, some wood stairs, and then there was a fire.
Yeah.
Like a torch or something already lit there, but me hovering around it, nothing was going away. So I can't decide if it's you have to light the matches. Does my flashlight even help for other people? Like if I were to shine it on you, it didn't seem to. I don't know. So maybe I just got to futz with that mechanic. But the only thing I noticed going away was my vision would get narrower, but then come back out with the fear, and I guess got a little more of a halo-y tint to it.
Yeah.
Like a goldish kind of. So, but the digits never went down. So I need to look into, so siblings or someone, I'm sure, I know I've kind of dropped the ball on doing a lot of research on it, but I was trying to discover it as I played it. I don't know if that's supposed to be the case, or if it just, once your fear level gets to a certain point, it just stays there, but you can chill out in between where you calm down a little bit. But
yeah.
I'm not sure I understand that mechanic fully yet. I'm sure as soon as we're super scared, it makes it easier for them to possess us and all that kind of stuff. And at least it showed up on screen, because you're just kind of having to sit there and just wait it out until whatever happens to where they get out of your body.
Yeah.
Because they've just taken it over and we'll start shooting. But now, here's one thing. So, I think maybe the strategy might be better. You know how everyone would just, like, attack you if you were possessed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't. Try to run away, I feel, because you take all that damage as soon as you're unpossessed.
Yeah, see, I was wondering about that too. Like, how does it work? Because we can't, or at least I didn't see. Yeah, I didn't see a way that we were trying to fight off.
Right,
the
I didn't
demon.
see a prompt or anything. That it was like me trying to help get him out of my body. But
yeah, that would be something to consider. Yeah, because it just seemed like I guess I gotta have someone hit me or something like that, and we were always kind of in a group.
That was what I was trying to test too. Like, if I hit you more, does it beat him out of the body, or is it just you get it? That's why I got to play the demon. I got to see if you're on a timer, how long you can possess them, or that might help my understanding of it, because it seems like as a good teammate, maybe we all just need to run the F away so the possessed can't hit us.
Yeah.
And then try to save your life for when you snap out of it and can come help us fight again. Yeah. But interesting premise. Interesting. I mean, nothing groundbreaking. Like, we've kind of seen this game before, but I like the different nuances they've made to make it a little bit more interesting in their own. And I'm biased because Bruce Campbell.
And, they've looked at what other companies have done. They've tried to refine the formula a little bit and try to put their own spin on it, which I appreciate. There do seem to be unlockables, which I haven't come across any yet.
I think it's the missions. I've heard once you beat those missions, you can unlock. Because I did see some people playing like Pablo that I don't have. Yeah. And I think Vaz was one who told me you can unlock some and skins.
Yeah. Like
different outfits or whatever. And then I got 2 extra skins I pre-ordered it one day early just to get 2 extra skins, since I'm not really a pre-order person in the digital age. But I was like, well, 2 extra skins will do it the day before. It won't be that much. But that bad, giving them money that early.
My big question now is they've touted this season 1 pass that they have, and I didn't quite really look into what all that entails, but are you saying that you're going to add more stuff? Like, are you going to add new maps?
That's the plan.
New characters?
Yeah,
because
I ought to... let's see if there was a roadmap. I feel like I saw one. Yeah, because there's going to be, upcoming season pass, new maps. Let's see what else it says here.
Because we really didn't play anywhere but the cabin area, right?
I want to say there was a couple, because I know we got into one where I was fighting the skeletons from Army of Darkness, and I don't know if that maybe was with you or with Baz then at this point, which one.
I don't remember them, no.
So I know there was that map, and it's pretty much just a bunch of woods, and then, yes, the cabin was quite a bit. And then I wonder if it was based on who the demon chooses. Because it seemed like when the puppet one, which would be from Ash vs. Evil Dead, it seemed like that map changed. And then when we had Henrietta, I think a lot, which would have been the cabin, which is because she was in the basement. So I'm wondering if it's tied to that.
Could be. It's probably
because then when the other guy chose the skeletal one, which would have been from Army of Darkness, that's when I remember fighting the skeletons, and they do not explode with electricity. The skeletons. Okay. So there's also some differences to the mobs and stuff that are going on. So yeah, I'm wondering, and since we've only got the 3-ish demons to choose from right now, which I guess was your your main antagonist from each game, maybe, the Henrietta, then the but I don't know. Now I'm trying to remember. I'm getting well confused. Did we see Henrietta in 1? Because I know in 2 it was more of the comedic aspect where she was like chasing him around because like her boobs are out and she's this gross.
Don't remember seeing her in that.
Because like I remember them like popping up underneath there, but it didn't look like Henrietta then, or not the one we're using in the game.
Right. No, I don't remember.
Yeah. So I think she was 2 in the version we're seeing in the game.
Right.
You would think I should know this. I've seen them all, but I've seen them all. There could be blending.
Well, there was a lot going on that we weren't really focused on the Deadite version.
Right. Yeah, we were just trying to not die and find map pieces. But I did finally find some map pieces, and started contributing. We actually had one that it ended up interesting because I don't know if we were just both doing our own thing. Like Baz and I went one way, the other, 2 players. But it almost was the most beautiful teamwork because we ended up being nearest one piece of the map. Then when the second one, we saw the other 2 people were closest to there, so they got that piece. Mm-hmm. And then we got this one, and then we ended up like running towards the dagger together. It was almost like a plan. It was beautiful. I don't know how you would have managed to accidentally end up, it's just probably accident. Oh, another map piece spawned closest to us, so we'll go grab it. And it was just the most beautifully played one. They did die, and I ran out there and saved them both, and then we all came in. I think we ended up dying anyway, which was kind of sad. There was one player left, and I was like, well, go. You can do it. No, you can't. Okay.
It's kind of like that one match that we had where it just ended. Like, we didn't even know what happened, but we won.
Think you and I were still in, like, the gas station downed. Like, I hope they got this.
Yeah. But we won. I mean, that was the funny part about it. It's like, oh, okay. All right, well.
Good job, you two.
Woo! We did stuff.
You did that. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it is a lot of fun. I would be more interested, of course. Hopefully they do keep adding on to it because I could see that getting stale if those are the only 3 or 4 maps that you're constantly playing over and over again. Although it does seem to vary where the map pieces will show up on the map. So you can't have it memorized where you need to go. But, yeah, I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it felt right to the characters and the movies. It's being able to play Evil Dead in a way that I don't feel like any previous games have done. So I'm digging it. Kind of like Friday the 13th. I knew what I was getting into with Friday the 13th. I want to play Jason. I want to kill counselors, and that's what I get to do. Here, getting to fight Deadites, but also kind of touch on certain elements. And there is familiarity to it, so you're familiar with Dead by Daylight and the like. It will feel familiar in that regard. So if you don't like those games, I can't recommend it.
Like this, yeah.
If you do like those games,
worth the money for just the solo mission.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to say this to dissuade anyone. If you're satisfied with Dead by Daylight, I don't really feel like this is going to add anything to your life unless you are an Evil Dead fan.
Right.
And then this will just kind of
they're fairly similar enough, and DVD's been around longer, so there's more variety at this point.
But if you've ever wanted to fight back in Dead by Daylight, now you have an opportunity.
Right. If you want the 4v1, and then I mean there is, I guess it's if you also want mobs too. Sure. Mm-hmm. Because that would be the most different element. It is 4v1 in a way. But there are also NPC spawns and stuff that are trying to fight you. Because that's not all the player. The player might be spawning it, but they're not actively controlling the other demons that come out. Unless you possess them, too. I think you can. Right. But all of those were your choice. So... Or you don't have to. If you're tired of playing against other people and just want an AI demon, then there you go.
And, I appreciate that as well. At least they threw in something for single players. The missions... I don't know how hard they are. I don't want to sit there and say, well, just because I can't do it, you can't. I don't know. Your skill level. I've just been playing. I felt like I got did pretty good for the little amount of time I did play it. I played it twice and got that far. Yeah. So I just need to get better at understanding my characters, how everyone plays. Because the way Scotty played and the way Ash played were similar but different.
I think they were all built to complement.
Yeah. So, like I said, Scotty felt like he was, killer with an axe, man. Like, he could just tear stuff up and wipe out enemies. But Ash felt like I needed an extra whack here and there. Like, I went in once, attack, and then one big good hit, and then that would usually do it. So, it threw off my game a little bit, because he played slightly different.
Yeah, that might be the case. Like, he's more of your tanky character. Cheryl was definitely the healer of the group. Because I think her specialty was, like, laying down, that green aura that you could swim in and get health and all that kind of stuff. And I know one of the Ashes I played would help with fear reduction. So, when you're reading it makes sense that they're all kind of built to work together because you would need one of their abilities, to make it easier. Not necessary, but for them to not allow you to take double or triple of the same character, and I guess is understandable, but you want to play the one I want to play. So I would have it ready and queued to go if I knew which Ash I wanted to play. So I'm like, enter right away. And I'm like, nah, my Ash. You have to play a different one.
The only other thing I have to say about this was I was really amazed by how many logos there were at the beginning of this game. I know that's an odd thing to bring up, but it was just like Saber Interactive, Renaissance Pictures, Stars, Universal, Lionsgate, and I'm sitting there going, my God.
Who owns all the different stuff?
I know.
Because Stars owns Ash vs. Evil Dead, so probably had to license that version of Ash.
Mm-hmm.
And then whomever bought all the different versions of Evil Dead over the years.
Well, the Army of Darkness, that's Universal. I'm guessing MGM has the originals, or
Maybe
Lionsgate does. So where does MGM come into it? I don't know. I'm confused.
Well, yeah, there was so many different weird licensing issues and stuff that happened. Although, if you listen to Bruce and Sam, they were like, I just wanted to make a sequel. But we're still all confused from 1 to 2. So like, okay, I mean, I guess it is, but you still retold the same story, kind of, but now in a slapstick comedy horror way.
But you can really edit them together, you know. Like, you get to the end of part 1, and then you pick up at part 2 where the thing is coming through the cabin, and then and catches him, and then shoots him through the forest. You edit right there, and then the two movies merge.
But then he goes back to the cabin with Linda.
I thought she was dead before then.
Because didn't they remake, like in the very first part of the movie, you know, it's them going kind of back to the cabin and then him having like the fun time with her, and then, you know, she gets possessed and is dancing outside the window or whatever.
I felt like...
And then you have the sister and brother team whose dad it was or whatever that was trying to make it to the cabin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
just felt like they remade a little portion of it to like fit
right at the beginning.
Narrative. Which was weird to me. I'm like, where's Scotty? Where's Cheryl? We don't even care about those people anymore.
Like I said, you edit
the tone change.
You edit the two together. You take out the 5-10 minute recap they do in part 2 and slap on part 1 right there, and then you edit right there the end of part 1 to the scene where he gets attacked in part 2 and thrown through the forest. Boom! There you go. There's your complete movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I love them, but yeah, the tone changed, everything changed, so I do remember the rumors, like, that they lost rights to the first one, they had to remake it, or whatever, and according to them, they just wanted to make a sequel and change the tone, I guess, so that's what they tell me. I'll trust the people who were there and filmed it and created it and spent their blood, sweat, and tears on it.
I just remembered, season 2, I'll put a bet on it right now. It will feature content from Evil Dead Rise. That new Evil Dead sequel coming up.
Oh, I did see that. Think
about that, huh? I don't know anybody in the movie or anything, but...
I don't either, but I do remember reading, and it made me feel a little bit better about it, that they're not trying to, like, redo anything. It's going to be its own story about just some new people who happen to get the book, and fine. And I'm going to go into it with a much better idea than the last one, because the last one, I think I would have enjoyed it again if I knew it was just these kids went to the same cabin later on and weird things happened. I thought it was a remake altogether. Yeah. With me going into it as a remake, I thought it was garbage. I had the wrong frame of mind. I did not enjoy it. I liked the little homages they paid. And to me, it just felt like they were trying to see how gory they could make Evil Dead now that we have better graphics and things at our disposal. And nobody asked me my opinion. I should stop trashing it. But it was fine. It's fine. If I would have got into it with a different mindset, I think I would have enjoyed it more than me thinking it was supposed to be a remake, re-envisioning, reimagining, whatever it was. In which case it failed in that regard. But Rise, I'll give it a shot, especially since they're involved and they're not trying to remake nothing. They're just trying to tell a new story. And,
it's a new story, and I'm all for it.
Let's do that. But I guess that's our show.
Yeah, I got nothing else to say about it.
Can't think of anything more to say about it.
Check it out. I'll say that.
Yeah, definitely check it out. And if you're playing this weekend, maybe hit us up in Discord. Come join our Discord. Let's get an Evil Dead match going.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can also hit us up sometime on Twitter at Super Mega Crash, or go to Instagram to view the weekly icon art Stephen puts his time and love into. You can send us an email to supermegacrash@gmail.com. You can support the show by liking and leaving reviews on your preferred podcast app, and even going to patreon.com/Pencil and Paper Productions, or go to YouTube. patreon.com/pencil and paper productions for just more good old entertainment. And like I said, we suck at Discord. Come make us better. Come hop into Discord. Thank you so much for listening, though. I am Licia Finley.
And I'm Stephen White.
And you could join us again next time, Super Mega Crash Siblings. But until then,
game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.